Start. So yeah, hello, good evening, all of you. Today we have Rashmy Patwari with us. She's a four-time Sitecore MVP and currently she's working in Evander as an enterprise digital architect. She's having more than 20 years of IT experience. So and she had very good things in her hand. So I hope today our session going to be a very big hit. So, welcome, Rashmi, and it's all over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's Avanade. So Avanade is a Accenture shop with for Microsoft, and we do Sitecore experiences as part of that as well. So it's been a platinum partner for Sitecore for as long as I can remember. I've been with Avanade for the last 2 years, and before that, I worked with a couple of other, you may call like agencies in Sitecore. I was with Proficient and also with Concentrix, which was again, two other forms before Concentrix. So yeah, that's my Sitecore career has been pretty short. It's a recent thing. Been with Sitecore for the last 6 years, but before that it was mostly Microsoft Azure, .NET, and the likes. So that's pretty much how what my experience has been thus far. Yeah, it's great. I think this would be my first offshore presentation for this year, 2025, and I'm pretty excited about it. I have not presented in Jaipur before, so that's a first again. I'm glad you all could join. It's hard towards the end of the day. I wouldn't do anything after my work day on this likes, and I'm yeah. So let's go through this. So I believe you've had. So let me move on. Yeah. So the topic is we'll focus primarily on Sitecore personalized conditions. So conditions is a is a feature of Sitecore Personalize product, the SaaS product, and this gives us a lot of power when it comes to doing custom rules, which I mean, if you're all familiar with the XP world, which I believe all of us are, so we had a powerful marketing tool, rules engine, right? So conditions gives us that power to kind of recreate the rules engine and give that flexibility in the SaaS product as well. So in my recent projects, I've kind of had the you know the chance to use this, and I wanted to share my experiences with creating custom conditions and the likes. So moving on, the agenda briefly, kind of I kept it fluid. I know you've had like previous presentations from I think Amit Kumar. Yeah, we worked together actually, Amit and I. So you've had previous presentation about in detail about XMCloud personalization, embedded personalization, and you've covered conditions, the out-of-box conditions in greater detail. So I'll try to focus mostly on the custom side of things and not kind of, do the, we can, I mean, I do have the slides for that, so we can kind of go quickly over the out of box ones just for completeness sake. So the agenda would be let's talk a little bit of the product itself, like Sitecore Personalize, why do we have it and what can we do with it? Then conditions in detail. Then we'll talk about personalization flows. This is primarily, important because most of us are going towards headless applications, and it's good to understand how all of this fits together with the different layers of the product line. I have a couple of demos for you. Yeah, just to kind of nail the point. And we'll talk about best practices when it comes to creating conditions and using them. And the point number 6 is mostly for like architects in this group. How what should we ideally look as an implementation roadmap, as in which kind of personalization will require, what are the timelines that we are looking at, and then I can answer any questions you may have in the end. Feel free to stop me if we can go at your pace. I mean, I don't have to go through all the slides, and I don't have to kind of stick to the format. This, like I said, it's a fluid agenda. So if you can stop me whenever, wherever, and we can keep this as interactive as we can. So that's the plan. All right. Okay. So looking at Sitecore Personalize. So what does personalization do? I mean, have how many of you have actually used Sitecore Personalize or CDP already in your projects? Just like a raise of hands so that I can kind of talk to that. Cool. Okay. Sumit, I know you have. All right. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so the as a product, it was Boxever before. So Sitecore acquired this some years back, and the kind of it's a the core features remain, but you will see the word box ever appear most places in the product as you work through it. So that's the reason I want to mention that. So it's pretty much morphed at this point. It used to be a single product, and now it's like it's split into two. There is Sitecore CDP as a separate product from Sitecore, and then there is Sitecore Personalize. So customers can buy either one of them or both, depending on their needs. So what does it do? Like, Sitecore Personalize itself. So the front end of the product is personalized. So which means that, that's where we create the experiences, be it interactive web or the XMCloud ones. And they are the ones which is actually, giving those the effect to the end customer of our product, so and makes their job easy and makes our job easy as marketeers and developers, so that mostly for the marketeers, because then they can kind of engage, build engagement, and then build that real time flavor to the products, which will make the customer feel good and enhance business. So it's like a win-win situation for all. So why it matters? Because if we don't have it, then it means that whoever logs in, like be it a visitor or a authenticated user of your product, they'll pretty much see the same thing. So there is no, and it goes much beyond that hello so and so kind of a message. So that is important as well. Being recognized by the product, and annoying at times. But yeah, I mean, but they do matter. So most times it makes it easy for us. So when you kind of navigate to a website or an app, and then the app recognizes you and gives you based on your history with the product, if they give you kind of curated suggestions, or it kind of helps you complete some incomplete process, that kind of helps you as a customer. So that's how personalize is pretty relevant in giving those experiences to our customers. So that's an example, what I've put over there. That's from my recent, experience with a client, wherein, it's an energy utility client. So they have, a lot of people are, using electric vehicles these days. So there's no point in giving them plans which are gas related, right? Like, I mean, this is again very US market specific, but you get the idea. So it's I mean, if you're an EV vehicle owner, then you would like to see plans that are very specific to electricity, and like some consumer plans. So that's how it makes their job easy, and you don't want to see like 200 plans laid out on the website page after page. You just want to see the curated result. So this is what is enabled by Sitecore Personalize. Okay, moving on. Like I said, they are available as separate products. So CDP gives you that, it gives you that 360-degree profile of your customer, basically connecting all the other systems in the enterprise. So if you have, say, Salesforce, and then there is ServiceNow, and if there are some other products where you have historical data, so CDP can help you ingest all the data points and create a holistic view of the customer, so that you know that the customer, how how exactly the customer is interacting with your product line, and give those enriched experiences, without which you are pretty limited with the amount of data that you have about the customer, and you will have to stick to pretty much like behavioral data, as in like and in that particular session what the customer has been up to. So not anything to do with other systems or other products that the customer has been interacting in your enterprise. So together they give that complete, 360-degree view of the customer and the complete omni-channel experience. Omni-channel as in like, having the personalization seamless. Like if you open the app, you see the same thing. You open the website, you see the same thing in terms of personalization. So that kind of enriched experience you can enable by deploying both the products. But again, yeah, I mean it's not up to us as implementers or architects. It's up to the there are so many other factors, as we all know. If the customer is willing to invest, then this is the path. Okay, coming down to conditions, what have we got? So conditions, I can say that they're pretty much like the foundation of personalization, especially for since we are moving more towards the SaaS products, and if we have and some of us have worked with the platform products as well, like and we still work with XM and XP. XM and XP did have XP had a very rich marketing automation as a product. Excuse me. And we did have rules-based personalization available to be enabled in XP. So this is conditions is more like a flavor of that. Or I mean, it's not like a one match for what we have in XP, but it helps us to relate as this being the kind of the core of the whole personalization. So to we can use conditions very effectively to create those rule-based engines, and basically the core functions being, we can filter out audiences just to cater the relevant experiences to the relevant segment of audiences. We'll see that in the demo today. Then decision making as the customer goes through the particular session, right? Like if it is a shopping website, and then what products are added to the cart, what is checked out, what is abandoned. So you get that whole you can cater or curate the, the offers based on real time behavior of the customer. We can also target again, if we create segments of customers, as in like VIP customers or just visitors. They have or they have a like pretty much like if they have subscribed to some membership. If it is an airline and the customers have subscribed to the airlines some blue club or silver club kind of membership. So based on that, and also controlled access to personalized experiences. So excuse me, I just need water. Been speaking too fast. Yeah, and the controlled access would be basically to you don't want the what's a good example here? You'll see that in the demo as well today. Excuse me. Say for instance, we have visitors and then we have logged in users, like authenticated users. So you don't want certain offers to be visible to all the visitors. It's like whoever is visiting the website, but you want to cater it only to the authenticated users. So we can set up gates like that. Just give me one moment. I'll be back. Sorry about that. So that's about the overview and the use cases for what conditions are. Um, Any questions at this point before I go further into it?
I guess maybe we can cover question later.
Okay, all right. Okay, so again, two types of conditions. So in this slide, we highlight both of them. So we've got the out-of-box ones and the custom ones. I believe out-of-box is already covered in your previous presentations, so I won't like kind of go too much into detail for that. So custom conditions are like I spoke just now, so they give us the power to set up the rule-based engine, and they need a developer. So that's the bottom line. So custom conditions are we need to be created by developers based on inputs from the marketing team, what exactly they want to set up as rules, and how exactly they want to what they would like to achieve based on the foundational elements what we've seen in the previous slide. So they're ideal. So once created, then we can have a library of custom conditions, and the marketeers can use them wherever they would like to, just as they use the out-of-box ones. Again, they are JavaScript powered, no other coding language to be used over there, created by developers. We can create. They look and feel exactly like the out of box ones. So we can have the statement that goes with it, and specific. They're meant for specific use cases, and they can be available as XMCloud conditions, as in like they can be available in the Pages editor as well as to in the web and the interactive experiences. Okay, I'll skip all of this. I don't want to, unless you want to go over them as a kind of refresher. But yeah, so we have about 9 of them which are available. One thing what we need to kind of be careful over here is it's clearly documented. So I can just talk to that, like what is edge compatible and what is non-edge compatible. So some of these out of box conditions are we see them in the documentation as edge and non-edge. So what that means is basically uh, so for the non-edge ones, they require, they will require some kind of calculations. So that's why they are not edge compatible. So you don't get that real time. They're not like time wise or experience wise. They won't be evaluated in real time. So what that means is because they need some calculation based on some server side processing, right? So that's why they're called as non-edge ones. The examples over here would be like the time of the day. So wherein you need to see, based on the visitor's local time, you need to determine that calculation and then give it, evaluate the condition. So whereas real time and edge compatible ones are like device type. So that's available from the user's browser header itself. So they can be real time evaluated. So that's again more about that. Okay. So yeah, I just spoke about that, but again, so this is what does it mean when you say that if it is edge compatible? So what is the benefit, right? So what makes it more special is basically the data is processed near the user, so that gives it the more real time or faster processing. So they see the experience pretty like kind of seamlessly. So that's the advantage of having some of these conditions which are capable of being processed at the edge. This is all about, so this applies to both the kinds of conditions, custom as well as out of box. So what we can do over here is, I mean, we can, like I said, within the condition itself, we can build complex logic as to what exactly we are looking at, how much of data we need to look at to evaluate the condition. Most conditions, I mean, conditions just evaluate to true or false, and we can build layers of conditions, as in separated by logic. So and or kind of so say for time of zone is would be AM, and then you can have a device type of browser, so do something kind of thing. So this some of the practical examples would be as given over here, like the locale is California or New York visitors, and then you can have groups as well. So you can have a time zone more like a locale as a group, and then you can add in say okay new visitors and belonging to this and this region. So things like that. So yeah, all that is pretty just the different ideas for building up logic using using conditions. The order of evaluation is so whatever is the first we don't have too much control over here, so it's good to understand this. So the first match wins. So as soon as you something evaluates within the condition logic, and then it will it has to return from there. So we need to be careful when we code it as well. So we cannot have the condition taking too long to execute. Then that means the experience is halted and sometimes it just times out. So that's something to consider. And based on so as soon as the condition evaluates and then the next step is to display the variant in the XMCloud case, or it would be to do any of the other things we can when we use it on web and interactive experiences on the port on the using the personalized product, as in like audience gating, or you want to filter out audience, so you can use that. So again, in the XMCloud case, every page visit, it is because it's a page-based personalization. There is it doesn't like kind of take care of session data, so that's when it evaluates. But again, we can use custom conditions to evaluate based on session and other user data. So So with custom conditions, it gives us more flexibility because again, it's up to the the complexity that is needed, and we can code it. We can develop it based on what is needed in real time to be evaluated. So we'll see this in the example that we have. We're going to see in the demo today. So what I've done is so based on say I mean treat that as an interactive as a connected system wherein we have some information coming as query parameters from other systems. And then there's right now there is no out of box way of evaluating query parameters in the in the conditions library. So I've developed a custom condition wherein it looks at the query parameters and it makes some runtime decisions whether to show a variant or not. So that's or yeah, and I mean I've developed it on XMCloud, so it switches a variant data source based on the query parameters. So that's one example. The other example, what we are going to see is there is a pop-up, which is to be shown for only authenticated users. That is again, I had to develop a custom condition to kind of filter out the audiences based on their, like event, looking at their all the events that are that have happened in the current session. So it gives us, and it can go much beyond that. It depends on our imagination what we can put in there as the logic for evaluating custom conditions. The development flow would be, yeah, like as in how to create conditions. I mean, instead of talking through that, I can show you on the portal. So basically, I mean, it's pretty simple that way. So the parameter types can be string, text, number, or enumeration. So we'll see one of the types. Okay. Um, some of the things that we need to look at over here are, I mean, that's just a syntax, the top one, how we configure parameters and output. Like I said, it has to be evaluated pretty quickly. Logically, it has to be pretty efficient. And we need to have a true or false answer at the end of the condition evaluation. And so that would kind of determine the next step in the flow and, give us the results. Again. Yeah, again, I'm not going to talk too much about the out-of-box ones, so I'll skip this. Yeah, we'll talk through this now. Again, so using conditions as uh, I think it's better to show this on the portal as well. So instead of talking through this, so again, using conditions to filter out audiences in for web and interactive experiments or experiences. So we can choose, we can develop the conditions and have them as the in the conditions library. And say, for instance, like the example over here, I want to filter the experience to only authenticated users. So that's when I developed a custom condition is authenticated. We'll see that today. And it evaluates based on the identity status. It will give back a true or a false. And based on that, we can show the out of box experience, I mean, the web experiment. Okay. Right. So let's look at this a bit over here. So here we are breaking down the key steps. I don't know how clear this is to you, but so basically the key steps that are involved in initializing so here we are kind of segueing into the implementation side of things, wherein we have the say the headless app and how it is all integrated, right? Like, your products, basically you have the headless app, then you have a CMS in the backend, you have personalized as a product, and how do we kind of bring them all together? So the most recommended way of using is would be, I mean, I think at this point it would be the content SDK. But when I prepared this presentation, it was still Cloud SDK. But yeah, I mean, depending on I mean, until content SDK is kind of stabilized. But pretty much it's not like a lot of difference between, the implementation side of things or the logical flow side of things. So this slide is still relevant. So we use primarily, we have two options. We can do the Cloud SDK as well as the Engage SDK. But for most Next.js, JSS applications, we do the Cloud SDK. So that's our integration glue to basically connect, to kind of start using personalization from the app side of things. So here with the app, I mean, so what we have is like we have those different, if you're familiar with Next.js apps, so we have the Bootstrap, and then we've got the plugins, and then like the layered plugins, we've got the middleware, and then we have the edge, so the experience edge, wherein the variants, as in the pages and their variants, are published, and then we have the personalized product itself. So here we have, in the core in the steps, first two steps, what's happening is the app starts and it basically triggers the Bootstrap component. It initializes Cloud SDK with the edge configuration. So this is where the application is telling Personalize that, okay, I'm okay to receive, all kinds of personalization you have out there. So if they have some web or interactive experiences experiments set up, so the app is open to, kind of see them. So if we, that's one of the critical steps. So if the app does not say that, so if it doesn't enable personalize, then we can run experiments, but you don't see them on the website. So that's primarily because of the first step is missing. Then we have, so once the connection is established with the Sitecore Edge, so Edge context ID, if we are all familiar, so that's the basically the only key that is required for connecting all our SaaS products. So we have Sitecore Personalize with XMCloud as a CMS, so that's where the connecting glue is the Edge context ID. So in the next step, so we set up that context, and So that's when you know that, so say for instance, you have different tenants, right? Like you got for any of, so how does a particular application know, from where from it needs to accept experiences. So that's a connecting glue. So you set that up, and then you register the middleware. So this is where we found a limitation during one of our client projects. So wherein, I mean, like the example what I gave you, the query string one, there was no way for us to basically have those query parameters. I'll speak more to it when we do the demo. So as in, like, what exactly was not available out of box, and then we had to override the middleware plugin for Personalize to kind of pass in those query parameters in real time. So that's where comes the middleware side of things. So if you need any optimization, like we had in our use case, so you would be doing that in the middleware. That's again the entire flow. So pretty much like 11 steps. So basically what happens, right? Like when the user uh, kind of browses to your website, so accesses a particular page which is, say, personalized. So what happens at that point is the request is intercepted by the middleware, which activates the personalized plugin, and then the system gathers the intelligence by fetching the page's data from experience edge. So the page as well as all its variants are gathered from experience edge. So you'll see that in the logs. So you get the page, and then it will say that, okay, it has, say I create 2 3 variants for the page in the pages editor. So all of them come as a package from experience edge. At that point, then the next decision is to, okay, which of these um, variants are to be shown on the page. So at that point, the request is made to CDP or Personalize, and then Personalize will tell it, okay, based on the condition evaluation, you will have to show this particular variant, and then that variant is rendered um, back to the user, and that's the flow basically. Anything would you like to kind of stop and kind of go in detail at this point? I mean, I kind of covered a lot of base in the nitty-gritties of the execution.
If anybody have any queries, so maybe you can put it up over here, or maybe I guess once we have the demo, so people can correlate the thing because
Okay,
as you have already seen, people don't have that much like working experience on that.
right.
And yeah,
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Okay, we are in time for the demo then, just in time. Okay.
okay, great.
All right. Okay. So here we have, let me just share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
You see that? Okay. Yeah. So here we are. This is the XMCloud Starter Kit project, and nothing fancy over here. I've just added this little demo widget over here, which is again a web experience. Um, Not there yet, but if I go on to this page, again, you're seeing the default variant. So what has happened in the back end is, if you recall the flow, what we just spoke about. So basically, I'm the visitor. I'm visiting the website. I go in there, and then it came back with. So this particular page has two variants. There is this default variant, and now if I go to, so here's the query string. So this is the custom side of things, wherein there is a condition which is parsing this query string and returning if user group is Jaipur. If I say yes, I mean I do that, and then that's how you have the personalized variant displayed. But in all other cases, you had the other one, the default one. So that's what we have today as the demo. And then we can go into the backend side of things and see how all of this was stitched together. Okay, let me show you one more thing before that, or let's hold on. Okay, so how did all of this come together, right? Like, so we have, let's go through, where do I start? Yeah, okay, let's see the conditions itself. So here's where so this is the personalized portal. And we have the conditions. So we see the out of box ones, here are all the out of box ones. And so here's where it clearly says, where this particular condition can be used. It can, so that we have three kinds of experiences or experiments, right? Like interactive, web, and triggered. And then we have, sorry, didn't mean to go there. Okay. And then, so that's where it shows the compatibility side of things. So looking at custom, so I have created one called visitor identified over here. And the one that you saw before was, so basically that's on a different portal. It's on my client portal, so I can't show you that. But I can just go with this and show you how this was created as a custom condition. So I published it right now, so I can't edit it. But here's the, so this particular thing basically, goes through the, it's basically looking for the identity event, whether the customer or the visitor has identified themselves. And based on that, it just returns a true or a false, is identified or is not identified. And then I can use this condition to basically, do my wherever, so in an experiment or an experience. So the other one, what I used before for this particular experience for the query data, processing, as in the query parameter processing, was a different condition, and this also returned true in case this, if this particular query string had a value of Jaipur. And when it did that, and that's when once it evaluated, I have the experience shown. So let's look at the other interactive one. So over here, I will identify myself. Okay, so the event got sent. So identity event was created. And once I refresh this, yeah, I have this pop-up shown up. So what I've done in the backend is this. So you go to the experiences, I have the condition pop-up, and so all the pop-up itself is pretty straightforward, just some out-of-box stuff. But I can either use this. I mean, I'll not cover too much into the features of personalization, but let's look at the filter itself. So here's where you can add conditions. And so I can use the visitor identified one, what I've shown you the logic for. So the visitor is identified, like I just did in the demo. And I save that. So when this particular condition pop-up is published, that's when I see this effect. That's it. That's for the demo. Any questions here?
Uh, Hi, Rashmi. So here, like we have created one custom rule, right? So
Correct.
to create that rule, like what is the first step? Like we have just seen that rule, right? Can you please show that?
Yeah. So when we go in there, so conditions are here. In the developer center, you have conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you create all kinds of, you can create as many custom conditions as you like. And the one I've
Right.
created here was the visitor identified, which you saw it in action there. So once you create them and publish them, only published conditions are seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you saw in the conditioned pop-up example, I have set the filter over here, right? So
Yeah.
when I say edit filter and I go to edit, so here you saw, so all the out-of-box ones are available as well, conditions, and then we see the custom ones as well. So if you click
Okay.
on all, you filter on all, and then you see them all. So this is where I added the visitor identified one to the so that here's where I'm actually doing it for experience gating, as in I want the experience to be seen only by identified or authenticated users, not by everybody else. So that's what I'm achieving over here by using conditions.
Okay. And for custom condition, we have to have Sitecore Personalize. We can't do it through out of the box.
Yes. So yeah, this whole thing is using
Yeah.
Sitecore Personalize. Yeah. So with this, there's no other way. So you need to, so the client needs to have the product. So like here, so once you go into the portal, Sitecore portal, you will have Personalize. You need not have CDP, but at least Personalize you should have. And once you go into Personalize, here are all the product features that you have. So
Okay. And
conditions
how?
is something you create from the developer center. Yeah.
Okay. And how we are like integrating your cloud with this personalized instance, like exactly where we need to have the configuration?
Uh, do you mean the app to personalize?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Okay,
Yeah.
that would.
Right.
Okay, all right. So yeah, let's go through the code. So that's my headless app, which is created using the starter kit. Like I mean, it is other than that new page I added. It's pretty much everything is kind of standard stuff over there. So here's the So let's look at the bootstrap. So bootstrap is where, yeah. So here's where you integrate with Sitecore Personalize. You import the Cloud SDK. So most, since this is an XMCloud CMS based app, as in like, this is using XMCloud as the CMS. What we do is we use the Cloud SDK. That's the recommended way of integration. We can also use Engage SDK, but Sitecore recommends to use this Cloud SDK. So here's where you initialize the Cloud SDK with the edge URL. So you're saying that I want to use this particular tenant. So for instance, now over here, I'm using my client's tenant. So that's part of the environment variable itself. So you have the edge context ID, right? Over here.
Okay.
That's my client's edge context ID. So I use that and I initialize myself. Where was I? In the bootstrap. So edge URL, so that's the context ID, and then I say which site I want to basically personalize, and all this one, and this is the key basic glue, wherein the first part is just the Cloud SDK initialization. So when we do this, we can do XMCloud personalization, wherein all the pages, the way pages editor is set up, and then that's where you can, they come to life. But this part basically enables the web personalization. So the pop-up that you saw, for that to appear, we need to add personalize uh, as one of the features to the Cloud SDK. So that's our connection. This is our configuration side of things. So the first flow, what I explained, the initialization flow. Then the working flow basically starts over here. So say for instance, um, we have the page view event going in from the components. Yeah, here. So over here. So I viewed that SUG page, right? And so that's where here that sets out the chain of events. So wherein you get the page variant ID from CDP, as in what should I see? Okay, and then you view that page with the variant ID. That's the other side of things.
Okay. Okay, so this way, like you are integrating with CDP and personalized both.
Correct. Yeah. We are not using CDP for these for the demo that we saw today. We are
Mm-hmm.
just using Personalize. So now
Yep.
the other thing is so Personalize itself as a product, although Sitecore separated them into CDP and
Mm-hmm.
Personalize. So
Right.
Personalize itself has a more like a very a short or what should I a very tiny CDP embedded in it. So it's not like so what they
Mm-hmm.
did was like you don't have a full blown CDP product available, but you do have just what is necessary to run personalization. So in this case, like there's some limited 50 MB of data that you can have from the current session of the particular visitor or the client for the customer, and that's all you can use when you have just the personalized as a product. But if you have both, then you get a lot more. Then there's like there's more in there's just like a complete profile of the customer that you can have.
Okay, got you.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, one more question,
What?
like,
Okay.
you were saying something.
No, that's pretty much. I mean, I was just yeah, lead away. If you
Okay,
have any questions, we
okay,
can talk about them.
yeah. So, like, for this thing to implement, actually, it's a kind of a page level personalization, right? So
Right.
we'll need to have the page variant. Like, do they have any no progress related to component level personalization, wherein like we can
Yes.
have, okay,
Yeah.
what is that?
So component level personalization, what we can do is we will have to build it as part of the component itself. Say for
How?
instance, I have so we have this experience, right? Like in this case, I created this condition pop-up experience. So you
Mm-hmm.
see this friendly ID of the experience, a condition pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
So this one we can invoke. Say for instance, I want to show that pop-up on page content. I want to do that. So in within the component, you run the personalize command. I can show you the documentation for that. So you can run the personalize command, and you can call that friendly ID using that friendly ID. So that's when you can run interactive and web experiences from the components itself.
Okay, that's really great because, like, I guess when last time we had some communication, that time it was like not available. Maybe this is like recently they did it.
Oh no, no. This has been there for a very long time.
Okay,
So
for a
that's
long
the
time.
yeah, yeah. So what is new is I mean the Content SDK is the most latest one to
Right.
this. But otherwise, Cloud SDK has been around since XMCloud started or
Mm-hmm.
launched, and this way of invoking personalize itself is also pretty much available since Cloud SDK is available. So if you go
Okay.
into the documentation, right? Like I think with the let me see. Yeah. So when you this is the Cloud SDK documentation. So so this is what I was talking about. So three different flavors of personalization we have: web, interactive, and XM Cloud. Web and interactive, we can do it from here. Sorry, here, as in like build web and interactive from the portal, and XM Cloud one is from the XM Cloud portal. And so when we want to invoke them, so yeah, so we added, this is what I showed you, right? Like we added it to the code. And when you want to run it, that's when, okay, yeah, so here's how you run it basically. So you call the friendly ID and you run it from your code or component. So this has been around for a while now. So we are almost like we are in the point 0.5 version of the Cloud SDK. So this is this is already pretty. But then the next step to this would be the content SDK, which Sitecore is recommending for us to use now going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep. And maybe we can cover other questions they have.
Hi, Rashmi.
Hey.
Uh, I don't have much hands-on experience on the personalization, but I'm curious, like, how do privacy like regulation like GDPR compliance affect the precision targeting strategies?
Uh, so yeah, is your question like and how do we build GDPR compliance using precision targeting?
Uh, yes, like
Yeah.
in a general way, in a generic way.
Yeah, so that's like a broader personalized topic. So I don't think there's anything in that you need to develop a custom condition for ensuring GDPR compliance. So we can use pretty much like a interactive or a web experience to make sure that read through the browser cookies and then if it is show that compliance or not. So whether the particular client is compliant or not. So that's more like a broader personalization, side of. It's more like a personalization use case, not specific to conditions.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sure.
And I think it seems there are no more questions, so we can wrap up. So thank you, Rashmi, for the wonderful session, and
Sure.
thanks
Yeah.
everyone for
Anytime.
joining.